Bears win. The Bears win.
Oh my God! Wow!
Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another Chicago Bears reaction. APW Sports signing in, and today we are going to react to the Bears' close 17-13 victory over the New York Giants in our home opener in this 2020 season. But before I dive into my thoughts on exactly what happened throughout the course of this game, I just want to make sure that you guys are staying absolutely safe out there. I know it's still a ton going on, and I just want to make sure that you guys take proper precautions and be safe out there. But about 60 to 70% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed to the channel. And if you fit into that category, go ahead and click that subscribe button and click that notification bell down below, as I will give you guys great Bears content as well as great NFL and college football content. But y'all know what time it is. Without further ado, let's dive into it. I'm gonna start off this reaction by saying this. This was an absolutely ugly win. It was an ugly win, which shouldn't have been, because this game was honestly, just like last week's game, a tale of two halves. The first half of this game is what the Bears can potentially be. A defense that is dominant, a defense that creates turnovers, a defense that's flying around the football field and make plays, and an offense that's moving the football on the ground, an offense that's have different variations of ways that they can beat you, a Mitchell Trubisky who's not making inaccurate throws and who's making plays not only with his legs, also with his arm, and a wide receiving core that was getting open and making plays for Trubisky. And the second half of this football game is exactly what we looked like the first two halves last week. I said first two halves. The first two quarters last week against the Lions. And if you want to be honest, first three quarters last week against the Lions. This team cannot win, continuously win, if these inconsistencies continue on both sides of the football. But I will first start with the offensive side of the football. Trubisky, now I was seeing on social media that the throwing dogs and all that, I can honestly say the balls were not coming out pretty or spirals, but a lot of the balls he had were accurate and catchable for the receivers. The first drive, I felt like that's what the Bears needed to do. They needed to come out and not only get points, they needed to come out and get a touchdown on the very first series of the ball game. And that's exactly what happened. The Bears were moving the ball consistently through the run game, the passing game. Trubisky was making very good plays. And on that first touchdown to David Montgomery, he didn't see nothing. He used his legs, got outside of the pocket, and was able to find David Montgomery. And David Montgomery with the hell of a run after the catch to get the Bears' first points of the game. And then next series, strip fumble by Robert Quinn and was recovered by Khalil Mack. And I will be honest, the presence of Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn together make a huge difference on this defense, because you have Mack and Quinn on each side of the ball, and those are two very excellent pass rushing specialists. And you have to figure out which one are you going to contain. Honestly, because if Mack is getting off, and you have Quinn on the other side free, and vice versa. If Quinn is going off, you have Mac on the other side free. So the presence of Quinn being back and being healthy made a huge difference. And I'm kind of upset we didn't capitalize and take that second drive and turn it into a touchdown. We was able to get a field goal out of it. Anthony Miller's drop touchdown pass. I really think that was a ball that was very catchable, but Anthony Miller could not come down with it. And we were able to get 3. I think it would have made a bigger difference if the Bears were able to score a touchdown on that series versus getting the field goal, because that can be a big momentum swing, because that will kind of take a little bit of the air out of a Giants defense that's not really that good to begin with. So it would have took more of the air out of them, like, here we go again. We're not very good. We can't stop anybody. And I think it would have gave the Bears offense more confidence going throughout this game going forward. But the first half of this game was, I think that first half is what I feel this Bears team can potentially be. Was defenses making plays, defenses creating turnovers, Trubisky in the offense is consistent, the running game is there, but I will be honest with you guys, Trubisky, number one, he did hold the ball too long on a few occasions, and pass protection was not necessarily the best this week, and it wasn't necessarily the best last week either, and I think that's one of the softer points on this football team is consistent pass protection. Because when Trubisky has time, he's able to make some plays, not only just with his legs, but with his arm as well. But I've been a big supporter of Mitch Trubisky on this channel. I've been a big supporter of him. I'm not saying that Trubisky will be elite. I'm not saying he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks to ever play. I'm not even going that far. This offense, I think, is best when Trubisky is using his athleticism as a tool and as a weapon. And we seen that on both of the touchdown passes in the first half, that Trubisky was able to use his legs, buy time, and make throws down the field. And I think that's where Trubisky is at his best, is using his athleticism, getting outside of the pocket, making plays not only just with his legs, but keeping his eyes downfield and being able to throw to open receivers, because defenses are going to be focused a lot on his athletic ability. So that opens up wide receivers, because you're going to bring the defense forward because they're worried about Trubisky scrambling and getting first downs. So I really feel that he did a good job of that in the first half, was using his legs more and just making throws on the run and making throws outside of the pocket when he needed to. Even in the pocket, he was solid in the first half. I'm not going to say Trubisky's going to be great, but in the first half, he was solid. The first half, the offense, the line was dominating in the running game. And I feel that, of course, throughout the game, the Bears' running game was very, very good. Very, very good running game. It was a little bit scary when David Montgomery took that shot and landed on his neck. Thank God he came out okay. But on the defensive side of the ball, Barkley, even before Barkley suffered that injury, I think the Bears were doing a very good job of containing Saquon Barkley. Dion Lewis was a threat. He was a problem for us. And Golden Tate was one of his main weapons, was kind of slowed down. And I feel the Bears' pass rush was able to get home more often this week than they did last week. And the presence of Robert Quinn, I feel, made the biggest difference in that, because you're able to bring multitude of guys versus just having Khalil back as your main pass rush specialist. So I just feel Robert Quinn's presence was needed, and it was very, very much a help to this defense, especially in the first half, with him getting that strip sack, and then Khalil Mack on the recovery. That was a big help. I just wish we could have got 7 out of that. But we did get points. But I feel that was a momentum swing. And then a touchdown before the half when Trubisky kind of motioned Daryl Mooney up and moved out and rolled out to his right. So the offense, I feel, was consistent in the first half. I think we left a little bit out there, but the defense was the defense that we potentially see this defense being, is one that's creating havoc and making plays. Now, the second half was a bad half. The second half looked like the first 3 quarters against the Lions. Honestly, I feel the running game of the Giants wasn't necessarily getting a ton of bigger plays, because the loss of Saquon Barkley really hurt them, but I just feel that, especially in the second half, the middle of our defense really didn't play that well. And we did get that pick from the first half from Deion Bush on a very nice play. And Eddie Jackson had one very, very similar, but he did get there a little bit too early. I was hyped. I'm like, okay, ball game over. Pick 6, ball game over, but flag was thrown and the refs made the correct call on that one. He got there a little bit early and the ref made the correct call. I just feel the middle of our defense still needs work. We can be better than that in the middle of a defense, because I think the Giants came out in the second half and made those adjustments to really attack the middle of the Bears defense, whether it be crossing routes, whether it be tight end sit-down routes, whether it was running backs coming out of the backfield and bringing the linebackers over or the safeties over. I just feel the middle of the Bears defense needs some work. Not necessarily bad, but it still needs some work. And defense, I'm not going to say it was all the defense second half, because it clearly wasn't. I just feel it just has to be a little bit more consistent as far as slowing down teams' passing games. They did a very decent job in the second half, but I kind of feel they were put in bad situations because of the offense's mistakes, because the offense did not necessarily move the ball much in the second half and really did not get any points in the times we could have had points in the second half. Penalties cost us as well. Holding penalties, a chop block penalty on Ifedi on a play where we really was running the ball well. We got good yards on the play, but a chop block set us back 1st and 25, and then Montgomery exploded. I just feel the offensive line, it could be better in pass pro. Trubisky cannot hold the ball that long as well, so it falls on both parts. Trubisky can let the ball go quicker or use his legs even faster or react with his legs better instead of trying to force the ball in the pocket. Sometimes you just got to take off. I wish he would take off a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wish Trubisky would take off more than what he does. I mean, he's good to try to be a pocket passing quarterback, but I really wish he would use his legs a little bit more, and I wish he would take off more, because that would give defensive fit. And the Giants had some problems with this athleticism. They had some problems stopping it because he was able to get some key yards and key first downs. I just wish he would do it a little bit more instead of just sitting back there in the pocket and holding on the ball a little bit too long. That's the main thing. And also Trubisky's interceptions. The first one, I don't think he should have threw that ball. It was 4 Giants there. He was trying to make something happen, and then the ball, I think, got tipped up, and I can't remember exactly at this moment who the receiver was. But I just feel that he shouldn't have made that throw, because it was literally 3 or 4 Giants in the vicinity of that area. And even the ball being popped up, defenses practiced that, so they did a good job of that one. And the second pick, I put that one a little bit more on Trubisky than I do Allen Robinson. Even though Allen Robinson he's been that receiver that Trubisky trusts with those 50-50 balls, and he's been throwing a lot of back shoulder throws to him throughout the course of their time together here. But I think the ball should have been maybe threw out a little bit further, or B, Allen Robinson could have fought a little bit harder for the football. But it's also a play that the Bears have been very successful at, and Allen Robinson has been very successful at. But I'm not going to take credit away from Bradbury because that was a very excellent play by him to, number one, take the ball away from Robinson and get his feet down and get down in bounds. That was a hell of a play. I will give credit where credit is due. That was one hell of a play by Bradbury. But I feel Allen Robinson could have fought a little bit harder for the ball, and I also felt Mitchell Trubisky should have thrown it a little bit more out or further so it wouldn't have been that kind of difficult of a play for Allen Robinson to make, even though he's made a lot of them throughout the course of his Bears career. Maybe a little higher, maybe, so he can kind of snatch it away. But either way, I feel both parts are at fault. Even though I will put more of the harness on Mitch. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I will put more of the harness on Mitch. That last drive, it was scary. I just wish the Bears would stop being in close games, giving somebody some. I really wish they would stop being in any close games. I really wish they would. I really wish they would. These close games is giving me a headache. Stressing the brother out. Y'all got to be consistent on both sides of the ball. So my takeaways from this game is that A, both sides of the ball have to be a bit more consistent. B, I feel Mitchell Trubisky needs to be a little bit more accurate. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. And another takeaway is Trubisky does not have to be elite. He just has to produce consistently for this Bears team to have success. He just has to consistently produce. And that didn't happen today. Now, I'm not sitting here going to call for Nick Foles after a bad half. I'm not going to call for Nick Foles after a bad half. But he does have to be consistent throughout the course of this season for the Bears to win. We won ugly, very, very ugly. But Trubisky can be better, especially with that second half that he had. So I've been a big supporter of Trubisky, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. He can be better. He can be better. I'm not calling for Nick Foles. I've seen a lot of Bear fans were saying he called for Foles, put Foles in, and Trubisky's trash. No, I'm not going to sit here and say that because I've been a supporter of him. I'm going to still support him. It's just he needs to be consistent. Now, if this inconsistency continues, then yeah, get him out of there. But the first half of this game is show what he can be. The first half showed what he can be. The second half showed what we don't need. And it's almost like Rex Grossman, if you want to be honest. You get good Mitch, bad Mitch. And you got both of them in this game. You got both good Mitch and you got both bad Mitch in this game. So, and another takeaway is Robert Quinn's presence means a lot. Pass rush means a lot. Middle of our defense has to improve. We have to improve in the middle of our defense, especially with those tight end routes and sit-down routes. So, Bears win ugly 17-13. I'm not going to sit here and be the happiest man in the world because I know the Bears still need work. But it's better to be 2-0 and look ugly than to be 0-2 and look ugly. So I will be positive. The Bears are 2-0. I'm happy. I'm in a better mood, and I'm going to have a better week of life because the Bears are 2-0. So at the end of the day, we win. We get the much-needed win. And on to next week. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Make sure to comment your thoughts down below about what happened in the game. Also to like the video because that helps the channel to grow. Share and subscribe to the channel. That helps the channel to grow. And keep up with me on social media, Instagram and Twitter. Both handles are PW Sports. And both will be in the description below. But I'll leave this video a happy man. Happy Bear fans are 2-0. Make sure you guys stay absolutely safe. Have a great and excellent day. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.
wanna say thank you to my mama and my daddy for making love the night that you had me. Wanna thank my friends, my sister and my brother.